Hansel, Gretel, and the Pudding Plot. Written by Isabel Thomas, illustrated by Monica Carretero. Hansel and Gretel would do anything for dessert. They spent their lunchtimes dreaming of gooey pies, giant cakes, and too much chocolate sauce. Sadly, they had the world's worst lunch lady. Mrs. Maggot had one rule: no dessert for children who couldn't clear their plates. But she made sure her lunches were disgusting. No one ever got to taste the treats from her dessert cart. One day, Hansel and Gretel tried hiding their awful lunches. They poured pond soup into pencil cases, stashed slug sausages under the tabletop, and filled their pockets with pickled sprouts. But Mrs. Maggot's nose had a knack for sniffing out leftovers. "Try that again, and I'll throw you both in the trash," she snarled. Hansel and Gretel gasped. Mrs. Maggot's last victim had reeked of rotten food for weeks. "If only we knew where she takes that cart," Hansel moaned. "Don't worry," grinned Gretel. "I've got a plan." As soon as Mrs. Maggot's back was turned, Gretel crept toward the cart. She slipped a pencil out of her pocket and poked a tiny hole in a tub of chocolate sauce. "Now the cart will leave a trail," Gretel winked at Hansel, "and we'll find out where Mrs. Maggot puts those desserts." After school, Hansel and Gretel snuck into the cafeteria. They followed the trail of chocolate drops into the kitchen, past a mountain of moldy dishes, and through a cabbagey fog, to a pantry marked "Keep Out." So they let themselves in. Inside, they found crates of cakes, baskets of candy, and every kind of pie and pastry in the world. "Hurry up and eat!" Gretel grabbed a mile-high lemon pie. Hansel dug into a 10-scoop ice cream sundae. They were on second helpings when they heard a voice behind them. "We did it!" Mrs. Maggot's bulky body filled the doorway. Hansel and Gretel were trapped. "You've gone too far this time," growled the lunch lady. "I'm going to put you both in the trash." "Please let us go," cried Gretel. "We'll do anything." Mrs. Maggot slammed the door shut and turned the key. "Okay, greedy girl," said Mrs. Maggot. "You can wash my dirty dishes, but your brother can stay in the pantry until you've finished." Gretel stared at the mountain of moldy dishes. It would take hours. She needed a quicker way to free Hansel. Suddenly, Gretel spotted a chicken bone on the floor. She kicked it under the pantry door. Hansel grabbed the bone, poked it into the keyhole, and wiggled it around. The pantry door swung open, but it was not Gretel on the other side. It was Mrs. Maggot, turning as purple as her pigeon pie. "Go and open the trash bin," she barked at Gretel. "That beastly boy is going in." As Gretel climbed the steps to the stinking trash bin, one last plan popped into her head. She huffed and she puffed and she said, "I can't lift the lid." "Silly girl," said Mrs. Maggot. "I could open it with my little finger. Get out of the way." Mrs. Maggot pushed Gretel down the steps on her way up. Then she threw open the trash lid quickly. Too quickly. The lunch lady wibbled, she wobbled, and then she toppled head first into last week's leftovers. The lid closed with a click. And as for Mrs. Maggot, she was taken away by the garbage collectors later that day.